Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise news analyst Emmanuel Ifeni.
Good morning,
Great
Ruben.
Malabite.
Good morning, Ruben. Good morning, Rufai.
You have till 9 a.m. After that, we'll go on a short break and we'll come back to you. So,
good morning, Victoria Tundu, MKO Abiola.
Good morning, Mr.
Yes, we start with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of record. The lead story. Tension in Southeast as separatist agitators follow Boko Haram's tactics. Police allay fears as residents stockpile food items. Others over sit-at-home order. Above the mass, just above the lead story of this day, Middle Belt Southern leaders rally support for Southern presidency. Northwest, South-South, Southeast intensify lobby for more states. Now, the Vanguard newspaper is also reporting the meeting of Southern and Middle Belt leaders. 2023, drop amendments, give Nigerians new constitution. Southern Middle Belt leaders demand new constitution based on 1963 constitution. Say nothing came out of previous amendment bids. One Nigerian will die if not restructured. Insist presidency should go to the South in 2023. Adds federal government's attitude to Southern governors as Sabah resolutions cavalier. Condoles with families of Atahiru, 10 others. Now, the Southern and Middle Belt leaders met in Abuja, and at the end of that meeting, Pa Ike Clark addressed the press on the outcome of their deliberation. Familiar request, if you will, asking for the presidency to go to the South in 2023. I think that is a no-brainer, but the major political parties don't seem to want to take a stand on that. But the other agitations, they're asking for a new constitution instead of the current amendment that is going on. But I think they should tell us a pathway to a new constitution, because we have a government in place based on the extant constitution. And this government has sworn to defend this constitution. How this government will drop this constitution and adopt a new one is not part of the law books as we see it. And if you want to carry any amendment, there is a procedure. It has to go through the 36 states houses of assembly. How you're going to push that through remains to be seen. But one thing is clear, we need to address some of these agitations by way of a national dialogue, not necessarily a conference. And we are dialoguing, but who is listening? Who will take action? Ruben, Rufai, and Tundu.
We'll go for a quick commercial break. Dr. Bati?
Yeah, if any, I told you earlier, we need to take a short break and then we'll come back to you. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
All right, welcome back, Dr. Bati.
Welcome back. Arise News analyst Emmanuel Ifeni is still with us. Great Malabite, please go ahead.
Yes, just before I throw back to you, let's just look at some other newspapers, especially how they report this tension in the Southeast reported in the front page of this day. Now, the Daily Times newspaper, outrage over murder of Jonathan's ex-aide, Gulag, while the Daily Sun newspaper, manhunt for killers of APC shifting Gulag. Police say ex-presidential aide set out for airport without security escort. Northern youths give Uzodinma 2 weeks to fish out culprits. We don't know anything about his death. IPOB. Now, the Daily Trust newspaper also has the story. Gulag's assassination sparks outrage. Police kill 6 IPOB members over attack. Southeast governors demand probe. Ex-presidential aide buried in Abuja. Buhari, Jonathan, ACF, mourn. But other stories, Nigerian Tribune, about 200 students kidnapped in Niger. Number of abducted students yet to be ascertained. Government, 1 killed, 11 minors released. While the New Telegraph newspaper, danger looms as 135 Brazil, Turkey, India inbound passengers escape from isolation. Lagos goes after fleeing passengers, dangles 5-year jail term on absconding travelers. Begin second dose vaccination. Now the economy. Quickly, the Guardian newspaper. Economy still crawling after 22 years of unbroken democracy. Telecommunications emerging as unbeaten player. Power still the missing link. Aviation wobbles with muted ambition. Banking feeding fat on a bleeding economy. The Guardian, they're looking at the economy in the last 20 years. While the Daily Independent, NAFEX rate adoption can't lift manufacturing. Analysts. Yes, the adoption of the NAFEX rate by the Central Bank of Nigeria last week as government's official exchange rate for the Naira, effectively devaluing the currency by 7.6%, may not eventually lift the manufacturing sector. That's what analysts are saying. While the Business Day newspaper, long-range manufacturing jobs can dent Nigeria's unemployment, creating low-key, low-skilled jobs in the manufacturing sector that offer lower wages can help Nigeria temporarily tackle unemployment problem. Experts again are saying. Now the foreign newspaper, quickly, I'll just look at the Daily Telegraph newspaper of UK. The Daily Telegraph newspaper of UK, yes. UK vaccine passport plans to be scrapped. No legal requirement to show jabs status at large event as ministers go cool on proposal. Of course, you see the photograph there. Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, they had their secret wedding over the weekend. But if we just look at the New York Times, uneasy alliance may give Israel new prime minister. Yes, the right-wing nationalists and they are joining forces with the secular centrists to form a unity government. That is bad news for Netanyahu, who has profited from the inconclusive 4 elections they had in the past. And these parties are saying, look, we have to stop this madness, come together and form a new government. The details of their negotiation is still unfolding, but Netanyahu is not happy, calling their effort a fraud. Ruben Rufai and Tundu.
I mean, I want to jump on that. It's finally happened to Netanyahu now. He has constantly kept himself in power. In fact, and he's one of the longest running prime ministers in Israel. He's been there since he won the first election in '96, Benjamin Netanyahu. And this time around, he thought with this short war he had with Hamas, he was going to get the recognition he wanted. Because prior to this time, they had told Lapid of the opposition party to go form a government. And now Naftali Bennett is already in the works. Naftali Bennett is a tech millionaire himself, and he's trying to form a government now. It's been trusted on him. The president has told him to form a government. Let's see how this pans out. But with friction and tension still going on, one thing I can tell you for free, you can't push Netanyahu out of Israeli politics now at this point in time, because something might still spark up again. You know, you might have another impasse at Al-Aqsa Mosque again, and it will cause another crisis or tension in that region. And when it comes to Israel going to, you know, a war, a lot of people will favor Netanyahu being at the helms of affair. I mean, we all know his long family history with wars. His brother was killed in Entebbe. You know, his brother was part of that Israeli force that went to rescue the hostages out of Entebbe at that time. And he has a long tradition, you know, with war. So some people will say he's hard-headed. Some people will say otherwise about Benjamin Netanyahu. And that's the way it has always been. But let's see how this pans out.
Very quickly, let me comment on your comment about what you call the secret wedding of the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson to Carrie Simons. What was secret about it? Yes, 30 guests were allowed in line with COVID restrictions, but all the details are out there. They have a son together, But the issue, the big issue, I think, that is in the media is whether indeed the Catholic Church has adopted double standards in this regard. Because ordinary people who have been divorced in some jurisdictions will not be allowed to remarry. But is it the case that the rules have been bent by the church to allow Boris Johnson to marry Carrie Simmons at the Westminster Cathedral?
In this case.
Yes, well.
And she's not a divorcee.
Well, but what is the rule? What is the rule? Boris Johnson is a divorcee on one hand. He's going through another divorce. But I don't think it's quite a secret wedding, as you classified it. It's there in the public domain. But I think that the point about insecurity is the thing we need to worry about. And for me, the paper that states it clearly this morning is Leadership newspaper. Just look at the headline. Insecurity escalates in Southeast. Gunmen killed 30 villagers in Ebonyi, Gulag in Imo. Family kinsmen recount last moment. His killers will be brought to justice. IPOB denies involvement. Reps have had to suspend zonal constitutional review hearing in the southeastern part of Nigeria. INEC office raised in Imo as IPOB sit-at-home order begins today. The president has said that he's committed to fishing out the killers of Gulag. Beyond that, the government needs to take this problem of insecurity even more seriously. Nigeria at the moment is sitting like on the knife edge, on the edge of a knife. Nobody is safe. And the police, Kana, what's the name of that spokesperson from Imo State? Now, they should watch what they say. The strongest argument that the police have put forward is that Gulag killed himself by going to the airport without informing security agencies. So are we now in a situation in Nigeria where people cannot move from their homes or hotels to the airport, and they will need to inform security agencies to be sure that they are safe? That should not be the case. Everybody in Nigeria should be able to move anywhere without fear that they will get killed. And in the case of Gulag, I think that all sides should be investigated. You know, it was the person who conducted the APC gubernatorial primaries in Imo State.
Yes.
And at the time, in fact, he said he had to sneak out of town, Nicodemously, under the cover of night. Is there any connection in that regard? We would like, police investigators to demonstrate more diligence and intelligence so that we do not begin to have a wave of political assassinations in Nigeria and a situation whereby anybody cannot move except they seek police protection.
But the news is that the killers have been apprehended.
Yes, they said so.
And we hope they are the killers.
They said so.
And we hope they are the killers.
They said so. All right. But for me, the sad part is we've had political assassinations in this country and nothing has been done about them. We never get to the end of this assassination. You remember the case of Harry Marshall? You remember the case of Bola Ige? To date, who are those killers? No one knows.